Someone smiles at you across a room, and before you decide anything, before you even think, your own face has already started to move. You feel it. A small pull at the corners of your mouth. Almost nothing. You might catch it and stop it, but by then it has already happened because the smile began somewhere underneath you, in a place you don't control. You believe you own your face. You believe the expressions you wear are yours, chosen, deliberate, sent out into the world on your command. But the real answer is far stranger than that. Your face is not entirely yours. It belongs, in part, to everyone around you. Think about the last time you talked to someone who was anxious. Their shoulders were tight, their words came fast, and within minutes, without deciding to, you felt your own chest tighten. You started speaking faster. You caught their mood like a cold. Why does that happen? The answer begins in the brain of a monkey. In a laboratory in Parma, Italy, in the early 1990s, a team led by a neuroscientist named Giacomo Rizzolatti was studying how the brain plans movement. They had placed tiny sensors in the part of a macaque's brain that fires when the animal reaches for food, a peanut, a piece of fruit. Each time the monkey grabbed something, a specific cluster of cells crackled to life. Then something happened that nobody expected. One of the researchers reached for the food himself, and the monkey, sitting perfectly still, doing nothing at all, lit up. The exact same neurons fired. The brain that grabs and the brain that watches someone grab were running the same program. The monkey was not moving, but somewhere inside it was. They called these cells mirror neurons. And once scientists knew to look for the mirror, they started finding it everywhere in us. This is the hidden machinery underneath your face. When you watch another person smile, frown, wince, or light up with surprise, a part of your brain quietly runs a copy of that expression. Not as an idea, as an instruction. Your brain rehearses their face using the same circuits it would use to make your own. You are, in the most literal sense, trying their feeling on. And here is where it gets strange. That rehearsal does not always stay inside your head. In the year 2000, a psychologist named Ulf Dimberg at Uppsala University in Sweden ran an experiment that should unsettle you a little. He showed people photographs of faces, happy faces, angry faces, and he attached fine sensors to their cheeks and brows to measure the tiniest muscle movements, far too small to see in a mirror. The faces flashed by. People's muscles responded instantly. A happy face pulled the smile muscle. An angry face pulled the frown muscle. That alone is interesting. But Dimberg pushed further. He showed the faces so quickly that the conscious mind could not register them. A fraction of a second, hidden behind another image. People had no idea they had seen a happy or angry face at all. And still, their muscles answered. The smile muscle for the smile they never knew they saw. The frown muscle for the frown. Your face was responding to expressions your awareness never received. Do you understand what that means? You are reacting to people before you know they are there. This is not a quirk. This is the design. And to understand why it exists, you have to stop thinking about faces and start thinking about survival. Your ancestors lived in small groups for hundreds of thousands of years. There were no walls, no written language, no way to broadcast a warning across a clearing. The only early warning system you had was the faces of the people around you. If one person suddenly looked terrified, you did not have time to ask what they saw. The predator was already moving. So your brain evolved a shortcut. It learned to read the fear on another face and feel a flicker of that fear yourself, instantly, before you understood why. The people whose bodies copied the alarm of others lived a half-second longer, and a half-second across a million years is the difference between an ancestor and a dead end. You carry the winners of that race inside you. Every one of them survived by catching feeling from a face. There is a name for this. Researchers Elaine Hatfield, John Cacioppo, and Richard Rapson called it emotional contagion. Emotions, they showed, spread between people the way a yawn spreads across a room. You mimic the expression feeds back into your own nervous system, and the feeling follows the face. You don't catch the mood and then make the face. You make the face first, and the mood arrives after, riding in on your own muscles. Sit with that for a moment. The smile you put on to be polite at a party can quietly nudge you toward actually feeling happier. The face leads, you follow. But the mirror does not stop at the face. In 1999, two psychologists, Tanya Chartrand and John Bargh, ran a study they named after a lizard, the chameleon effect. They had people sit and talk with a stranger who was secretly part of the experiment. Sometimes that stranger rubbed their own face. Sometimes they shook a foot. And the real subjects, with no idea anything was happening, began to do the same. They rubbed their faces more when the stranger rubbed their face. They jiggled their feet when the stranger jiggled a foot. Nobody told them to. Nobody noticed they were doing it. Their bodies were quietly tracing the body in front of them. And there was a twist that goes to the heart of what we are. When one person deliberately mirrored the other's movements, the mirrored person liked them more. They reported the conversation felt smoother, warmer. They could not say why. The copying was invisible to them, but it landed as connection. This is the part you were never told. The mimicry is not a glitch in human relationships. It is the glue. When you fall into step with a friend on the sidewalk without trying, that is the mirror. When a whole crowd leans forward at the same moment in a theater, that is the mirror. When you sit across from someone you love and find that you are breathing in the same slow rhythm. That is the mirror, working below every word either of you will ever say. You are not a sealed container moving through a world of other sealed containers. You are porous. You leak into the people near you, and they leak into you, constantly, through 1,000 tiny movements neither of you will ever notice. Now think about what that means for the company you keep. If your face copies the faces around you, and the feeling follows the face, then the people you spend your hours with are slowly tuning your nervous system. Sit beside someone calm, and your body practices calm. Sit beside someone bitter, and your face rehearses bitterness until, some days, it stops being a rehearsal. You are not just choosing friends. You are choosing the expressions you will wear for the rest of your life. You are choosing which faces your face will become. And this is why a screen can feel so strange and so powerful at once. For your entire evolutionary history, the faces you mirrored were right in front of you, breathing the same air, sharing the same danger. The mirror was a two-way street. You copied them, they copied you, and the loop kept the group in tune. But now you watch faces that cannot see you back. Faces on a glass rectangle, performing for millions, smiling and raging and grieving directly into the lens. Your ancient machinery does not know the difference. It mirrors them anyway. It catches their feeling and pours it into you, all day. From strangers who will never know your name, you have spent more hours than you can count practicing the expressions of people who could not feel you in the room. What did that do to your face? What feelings have you caught that were never yours to begin with? Maybe this should frighten you, but there is another way to hold it. You are not trapped by the mirror. You can aim it. The same machinery that catches another person's panic can catch their steadiness. The same circuits that absorb cruelty can absorb warmth. When you choose to sit beside someone calm, when you choose the faces you let close, when you decide whose expressions get to rehearse inside you, you are not being soft. You are doing the most ancient kind of self-defense there is. You are guarding the one face you have to wear every day. And it runs the other way too. Your face is doing this to everyone around you, right now, whether you mean it to or not. The person across from you is quietly copying your mouth, your brow, your shoulders. Your calm becomes their calm. Your warmth becomes theirs. You are not only catching the world, you are seeding it. Every expression you wear is a small instruction passed into the body of someone else, and from them into someone else again. So the next time someone smiles at you across a room, and you feel that small pull at the corner of your mouth, remember what is actually happening. That smile did not stay on their face. It crossed the space between you. It reached into the oldest part of your brain and asked your muscles to answer. And in answering, you became for one quiet second a little more like them.